You ever look at Primaris and just go, man, that guy's really boring. Firstborn. They come in like 7 different flavors. I mean, you could use Mark 1, but let's just focus on the main ones. The ones GW sells in plastic. Mark 4, 6, and 7 are so similar. I'll just show you Mark 7 and you'll be able to do the same with the other two. Mark 8 is similar, but I do have to note something with them. Mark 3, on the other hand, is really different, and we've got to do something special for them. And for the other two that don't have plastic models, I have an idea for a video about Mark 5, but it needs more time. So subscribe. Mark 2 is pretty similar to Mark 3, so if you somehow get a Mark 2 model, you can just follow the Mark 3 part of the video. So starting with the most common, Mark 7, you'll want to cut the legs at these points. You could try and avoid the little details here, but you probably won't notice if they're gone. If you're not confident about your green stuff ability, which I'm not, you can shave off the corners of all the cuts we just made. It'll make it easier to blend the gap with green stuff later. Then glue the feet to the base. Then glue the knees to the legs with hot glue. Make sure to leave a gap for later. Then do the same for his thighs. And just look how tall these guys are now. But we're not done yet. Cut the torso here. The belt is the main priority. If you mess up his waist, you can just get rid of it. If you're making, say, a tactical marine, this bit won't matter too much, as it'll be blocked by a gun. But if you're making someone with melee or something, then yeah, give this bit a bit more attention. Then do the back in the same way. Make sure to clean up any bits that would overhang. Glue the belt pieces where the ball joint would have been, not with hot glue. And then do the same thing we did to the legs with the torso. Be sure to use more hot glue than you think is necessary, because sometimes it'll break during the green stuff step, and it's really annoying when that happens. Speaking of the green stuff step, shove a bunch of green stuff into the gaps we made with hot glue earlier. Be sure not to rush it. A mistake I've made many times is when I try to get it all done in one batch of green stuff. Sometimes it's better to get a less than stellar attempt to harden and come back later than trying to get it perfect on the first go. But if it's still not so good, you can always just cover it up. For the torso, you can either keep it smooth or add these little line things, but I would wait a bit before doing that. Wait until it's mostly hard, then it'll hold the detail better or something. But after you do the first batch, where you fill most of it in, you go back afterwards and fill in any smaller gaps you most likely missed. You can even use liquid green stuff if that's needed, but after that, you got it. Mark 4, 6, and 7 tall boys. Now for Mark 8, they only really come in the Death Watch Veteran box. Because the Death Watch Veterans came out way after the modern Tactical Marines, their legs are taller than normal Marines, and so we don't need to fix them. I mean, you could, but you don't really need to. Their torsos, however, are just as short as the Tactical Marines, so we have to do that part. Also, their backs have these pouches where their belts would normally be, so we have to make a new belt for them. But other than that, you've got true scale Mark 8. Now for Mark 3, at first I thought this would be impossible. Just look at these individual plates. There's no way I could just cut those up and put them back together again. And I was right. So instead, I took the route of improving his posture. I cut the leg attached to his groin area, and then I removed the leg tube from his other leg, and just put them closer together. Then I just did the same thing I did for the other torsos, and it worked out really well. Though he's not as tall as the other guys. He's taller than he was before, and I think it's okay to have the heavier, bulkier armor be shorter. And there you go, that's 5 different variations of armor, and one more coming soon, and they can all be mixed and matched against Primaris' 1. Well, there's also Phobos and Gravis. Oh, if you can count the armors that are locked specific units, then I can count the 3 different variations of Terminator armor. Yes, I will make a video for Terminators at some point. Scout armor, yes, and a video for Scouts too. And Centurion armor. You forgot about Centurions, didn't you? Of course you did.